out for a little bit. I'm going to work a little bit more, possibly. I'm still deciding on what I'm going to do here. My thought is I might work on Tim Cook just a little bit more for a warm-up, and then I'll get in with some commissions that need to get done. I've been pushing out commissions like crazy, and I can't stop. There's just so much to do, and it's a never-ending process. So we're going to do another recording during our live stream tonight where I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the reversing the image in this program, which would be Clip Studio Paint Pro. I'm going to get into that in a minute. I know I already mentioned it in the previous tutorial, but this time I'm going to show you guys how to program it as a button, whether it's on your keyboard or on what I would have, which would be a left-handed control board, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. I've set up some new stuff, and I want to share it with you. We're going to see about how well it works on the stream tonight. So, like I've always done before, let's go ahead and go through our screens so you can see the different screens that I might use throughout this. We'll go ahead and start with the painfully obvious, my main face. Yo, what up, bro? How y'all doing? So what I got here is, of course, just my main screen where you see me, and of course my patrons. And as you can see down on the very bottom of that list there, Dean J is my brand new patron. Dean, thank you so much for becoming my patron. I really, truly appreciate it. I try to keep this as updated as humanly possible, and since our last video, Dean has become a subscriber. So thank you, Dean. Everyone on here, amazing, amazing patrons, and I really, really, truly appreciate y'all. The next screen should be painfully obvious. That's right, that's the blank screen. I guess you saw that one pretty clearly, huh? Okay, if I go on a break for any reason, run to the bathroom, get a drink, who knows what, wife starts screaming because of bugs and lizards, who knows, then we have this one. Of course, after this one, then we have our screens that we use during our drawings, which you just saw just a moment ago. Check this out. This one's pretty popular, obviously, as you can see. This is my favorite one to use. But I've set up a new camera, and you can't see it, but check this junk out. Hopefully it'll work. Let's try this. And there you have it. This is a setup above my desk, so you can see my setup with my Cintiq. And if I move my microphone out of the way, you can see right over here, this is my Logitech G13 that I've told you guys about so much. It's an awesome little board that I use. My keyboard is hiding underneath my screen right now, so if you see me reach underneath here, that's where my keyboard is. But I use this one mostly. This is an ultimately programmable, amazing, amazing board. I strongly suggest this if you're going to be a digital artist and you want to truly have the best work form that you can have. This is beautiful because it just sits over here on this side, and you'll see my hand go crazy here. So this whole screen is adjustable, goes up, scoots around, comes back down, and do not mind the camera and its focusing. Sadly, because I am using more than one camera, I can't tell it to not focus, because as soon as I click away from the camera and click back to it, it resets everything. Here's another great thing. Well, maybe not in this light. Praise the Lord, you don't see my bald spot, which is fantastic. I'm turning 30 in May, so it's like 6-7 months away or whatever. I'm getting older, guys. I'm getting older. Okay, and then of course when we get in with our final stuff. Oh, good. I did have a microphone set up there. Just making sure. Sorry, my bad. And then finally the final screen, which is actually going to be the starting screen that we're going to start our recording on. It's going to be this bad boy, the intro for recording. Check this out. You're going to see that one when we start the recording up and get things up and moving. So that's the whole plan of this thing. I hope that you guys enjoy this. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below this video. Don't be afraid to also follow me on Twitter. I keep my phone very close by, in my pocket right now, and I take questions over Twitter, and if I can't respond back to them in a 1-minute message back on my phone, then I would consider making them a tutorial. So please follow me on Twitter, TimMichaelArts on Twitter, and then follow me on Instagram if you like my drawings and you want to see more, because that's where I put those, okay? So, you guys ready for the live stream recording where we do our little video? By the way, thank you so incredibly much. 31 likes, and I think it's more than that now, on my last video. You guys are awesome. I give you a great big thumbs up. Thank you so much for all of your amazing support and all of your love and sending my videos out to your friends. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. All right, you ready to go ahead and do this tutorial? So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our intro for recording screen. You'll recognize it, and I'll hit my record button, and I'll come back in sounding all professional like we're going to go ahead and do a serious recording, which we are. You ready for this? All right, let's do it. Hello, everybody. What's going on? It is Tim Michael. Welcome to my channel. Tim Michael. A lot's changed here, and it used to be Tim Michael Arts, now it's just Tim Michael. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in another video, where today I'm going to tell you about something that I talked about in my last video, but something I want to show you now how to set this up. We talked a little bit about how to draw caricatures. You guys must have really liked it because everyone smacked the like button. Thank you so much. If you enjoy this video, would you do it again, please? And if you think that this is going to be useful, share it with a friend. I would love it. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. Anyway, I showed you guys the importance of having the ability to flip your image. And by flipping the image, we'll just click here and hit this button and flip. And you can see the back side of the image. It helps a lot with likeness, helps you kind of get form as you set things up. But here's the thing. Where is flip in Clip Studio Paint Pro? If I'm looking for a flip button, there's two places I'm going to look. One is over here in the top menu, and you can see it right up over here in this corner. This little button right here is our flip menu, okay? So if you decide that you want to flip something here to make sure that you're getting your artwork correct, that button up there works. Or if you need to do something a little bit even more intensive, where maybe you're of the artists who prefer to actually see shapes more than seeing the face. I know some artists who will actually draw upside down, believe it or not, to focus more on the shapes and on the tones and things to help them build up the tones more than focusing on the overall caricature of the face. And they do that by flipping the artwork upside down. So these two buttons over here, they're under your navigator. If you don't know where your navigator is, you just go to Window, and you come on down here somewhere, and somewhere in this whole menu of things, there's one here, right here, called Navigator. And that's the one you're looking for, and that's going to pull up this little navigation window with all these buttons. I do find this very useful, especially on my tablet. I draw also with the Surface Pro 4 if I'm not here in my studio, and it's very, very helpful because I can zoom in, zoom out, rotate the canvas, because sometimes not always the finger touch on my Surface Pro 4 isn't that great. So it really helps to have these buttons over here. Now, the next option that you have is you can click on the image that you want to flip, and you can say, okay, we're going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. That's another way to go. But that's obviously a pretty far path to do that. So here's what I did. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a screen that I haven't shown you guys yet, which is really, really cool. I hope that you like this. Check this out. Here we go. Whoop. Here you go. So this is my overview point, so you can see over top my studio here. Here's my screen. This is the screen that I look at when I'm talking to you guys. Here's the camera that I look in when I'm talking to you guys. All that little jazz. But I got something right here, and this is my baby. This is something where everyone's asking me, how do you zoom in and out and do all this crazy stuff so well? This guy right here, it's the Logitech G13. This is what I use for everything when I want to zoom out, when I want to zoom in, and I'll just go ahead and show you real quick here. Let me go ahead and click back into my screen here. If I want to undo like that dot and just hit that button there, I can zoom out, I can zoom in, I can make my brush bigger, I can make it smaller. Let's see, I can hold down this button here and click on my canvas to rotate it. I can, what else do I have in here? And then I programmed this button, G7 up here, I programmed this one to be my flip button. Very, very useful. I also have this one down here, this button next to my what is this? A joystick, and that one uses my eyedropper tool, or it's basically my Alt key. So when I'm in my paint mode, it'll do eyedropper tool. And then this one down here, right below the joystick, helps me move across the canvas. Very, very helpful. This thing is amazing. You can do all sorts of programmings in it. If you guys want to see a more in-depth tutorial about it, I actually did do a video really going in depth about this. But if you want to see it again, I'll be happy to do it again in the near future, and we'll literally just re-record it and give you guys a new updated version, because I don't really know how updated that previous one was, okay? So I'm not going to just show you how to program it on here. We're not going to worry about this. Not everyone has this. I'm going to show you how to do it on the keyboard Super easy. Don't worry about it. The thing I found is that a lot of people really struggle with flipping back and forth between the left and right, so being able to switch your image around. And the reason why they do that is because they have no idea where to find the button for it. And it makes an awful lot of sense just to program in your own button. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here to, if I'm correct, I think we're looking under File and Shortcut Settings. Is that it? Oh man, my goodness. I'm sorry, I should know this already. Yes, Shortcut Settings. And you can see here that here are all the different bars that go along the top of your screen here. So here's your File, Edit, Animation, Layer, Selection, View, Filter, Window, Help. I almost said herp, which doesn't make any sense. File, Edit, Animation. So you can see that's all up there. To get to the flip one, all we got to do is go to View, scroll down, and you can see Flip Horizontal. And here's Flip Vertical. So if you want to do that other style, you can set that up as well. Just click on it, and then you want to edit the shortcut, and then in this bar, you'll type in what letter you want. I have it programmed as T. Apparently, T is also used for text, so it turned off that setting so that I could use that. And then I just hit OK, and it programmed it in. And then I programmed it into my other little board separately, so that when I'm in here, it's just a flick of a button and we're good to go. So that's all I was going to show you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. It is quick this time. I hope that you guys liked it though. Remember, I ask all the time, what do you guys want to learn? And I ask you guys on Twitter. All you got to do is follow me on Twitter, answer back with what tutorial you want to see, and I will work my best on trying to create that tutorial for you guys. This has been really helpful for me because I've been working on so much artwork and not having enough time to do stuff for you guys. And so by doing this quick live stuff, it's been super helpful for me to talk to you guys one-on-one and give you these quick tutorials. Now, basically, anything that you're trying to do in this program can be programmed in using that same thing. So if you need a different setting or a different modifier or something, if you want to program something to work quickly, maybe you want to copy something and paste something, instead of doing Control C and Control V like is standard around computers, you can go through here, find what you want to change, and program everything in here to be completely different. And if it helps you with your artwork and helps you speed stuff up, you're good to go. Use your key commands. Learn those shortcuts on your key controller, on your keypad. It's going to help you out a lot. And when you're a guy like me, who's got a ton of artwork to get done and it takes forever, anything that you can do to not have to reach over to your submenus on the side of your screen is going to be super helpful. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed this very quick tutorial. I apologize for how brief it is. I will be back with more, though, and I look forward to talking with you guys in the future. As you know, if you liked this, hit the like button. If you want to, please subscribe, or as we like to say, subscribble here on my YouTube channel. And then, of course, leave a comment down below. And as you can see right below me here, I have all of my active patrons. These are patrons who have supported me through thick and thin, and who are amazing people who are donating per video. You can set your limits. If I make 100 videos in a month, I don't want you freaking out because you're donating $1 a video. You can set a limit. So you can say, okay, I really only want to support Tim for 3 videos out of the month for $1, and you can set all that up. If you just want to support one video for $1 a month, you can totally set that up. It's amazing and helpful, and there's a lot coming up in my life personally, and I really want your help because, admittedly, I'd love to turn this into my day job. I really would. And there's so much that goes into this and so much time that goes into this, and every one of these people here on the side here who are helping me with, or should I say down here, and I'll look down here fakingly pointing down at them because they're all down here. These are the people who are truly going the extra mile to support me. You guys do so much by subscribing, liking, leaving comments, and I love you so much. And I love these guys because they're really trying to make an effort to help me out. Thank you so much, guys. Of course, there are rewards. If you're supporting at certain dollar levels, you can either get caricatures from me after you've donated a certain number of times. If you are wanting one-on-one classes with me, I offer those as well at a certain dollar value. There's tons of stuff in here. All you got to do is go look on my Patreon. Patreon.com/TimMichaelOtz. I'd love it if you go check it out. Description links in links in the description below. So go check it out. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. We'll see you next time on another video. All right, and that's going to do it for that. All right, so that's kind of a cruddy, quick video, but hopefully that'll work. I'm going to warm up a little bit on this drawing, and I'll share that with you guys. We'll have some fun on here on the stream, and then once this is all said and done, then I'll go ahead and switch over to getting some real work done. So I can't stay up too late because the time now is 9:22, and I have a slightly earlier morning tomorrow, so we'll see what I get completed tonight. Let me go ahead and turn on my Restream chat box, just so I can see how many people are floating around in here with me and see if there's any conversation going on. As you guys know, my internet stinks. And my downloads are perfectly great. We watch videos all day long and have a wonderful time. It's great. But my uploads, which are for live streaming, man, they're dead. So that everyone who's in here, you're a trooper. You're a real trooper for hanging out as long as you hang out. So I hope that you enjoy this, though. We'll have a good time here. I'm going to try and see if I can tighten up this artwork that I did of Tim Cook. I just want to kind of continue taking it more real. I want to see if I can do a little bit more when it comes to learning value tones and such. So I'm just going to take a little bit of time to do this here. And if I think of anything that I can help you guys with, I'll let you know, and I'll try and teach you as I can. But that's what we got. So I can give you two different screens, like I've said before. We got this one that you guys know so well. And we got this one here from the overhead where you can see what I'm doing as I'm painting along here. And I'll try to remember to switch back and forth between the two as time moves on. And in a minute, I'll probably go ahead and put on some music and mute my microphone so that way we don't have too much hassle going on. And of course, I have my button programmed here, so if I need to... Check. Oh, I gotta switch over into here first, I guess. There we go. I can hit a button and talk with you guys whenever I'm doing that. But for now, I'll stay on here with you and chat. And you know what? I'll start off in this mode. I'll stay in this mode for a few minutes, and then as I switch over, I'll try and switch back and forth between them. And hopefully we can, you guys can kind of see my work, how I work between here and my little tablet on the side that you might not be able to see in the shot. I move this thing around to be comfortable wherever I'm sitting. And of course, my positioning changes during the night. And then in a little bit, I'll put on some music and start jamming out to get some real stuff done. So let me go ahead and save this really quick here because I love this starting sketch. I feel really good about it. I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to call this one Tim Cook Val, which I'm going to mean for value. Val. There we go. And we're going to hit save. And this is just basically a value study for me personally. I want to try and get this locked down just a little bit more. See if I can get some stuff working here. Let me see. My pen is, well, it was working a second ago. See this? You see my cursor's like completely on the other side here. Let's check a couple buttons out. See if it's going to change it. Nothing's changing. When this happens, there's two things that I need to do. We'll turn that off. Turn that back on. And now we'll see if it's working. Which, yes, it is. Do I have pressure sensitivity? No, I don't. And that does happen, so all I got to do is just close this, reopen it, and life should be back to normal. Okay. File, recent, Tim Cook Val. Okay, so basically what I just kind of want to work on is I want to work on some of this shading, and I want to kind of build him up in a realistic way, and I'm not very good at this, so this is just me practicing and sharing it with you guys. I like sharing with you guys everything I'm up to, and it's just a good opportunity to put me in my place just a little bit. So I'm going to just grab my lighter pencil, and I'll start off with just some lighter pencil stuff and start trying to shape things out a little bit and see if I can give Mr. Cook here a little bit of form. Whoop, with the right color. How about that? I think I'll make a new layer over top of this, that way I don't damage anything, and I'll also drop down my brush density. And this is just my pencil, so it should just kind of fill things in a little bit here and there. And I'll try and see if I can just build up some of these tones and get a little bit more closer to realism. Just gonna try and feel out these shapes and tones, which we'll see about how good I do at that. I'm not great at this just yet. This is actually a tutorial that I've taught in the past about doing color value, like values and tones in black and grays and things. And it's something I can teach, but it's not something that's in my skill set. I'll tell you that much. But I'm basically just adding stuff in here very, very gently. And then what I'll probably do is take my my blending tool here, and I'll probably just go in and blend certain parts in, kind of like this or whatever, and see if that helps me kind of build up the shapes that I need to. And the blending tool is actually very, very helpful, and this program really makes it work well. There are certain programs that really don't, but this one does. And there may be some options also to maybe cut into things, because there's several different blending options, and each one's going to serve its purpose. But my ultimate goal would be to turn this into a piece that doesn't need any line work. Let me do this. Since I'm simply saving over my original artwork, I'm not really too worried about messing this up, because I still have my original piece that's in another file, so I'm not too worried about losing this. I'm just starting with the blending tool, and I'm gonna try and cut these shapes down so that they're not as bold and the outlines kind of disappear a little bit, and then I'll try to make up for it with highlight. Okay, I think you guys probably have an eye full already of this top image. You can kind of see about how I'm working, so I'll go ahead and do you guys a service and give you, I don't know, you guys need to let me know as we're doing this. If you guys are watching in the after recording that you'll see on YouTube or whatever, let me know what screen you like more. If you want to see my face, or if you want to see this overhead here. I don't mind either way. I'm not that desperate to be in front of the camera. I'm really not. I'm definitely not that desperate to be in front of the camera, as he clicks the other one and shows his face here. I'm not desperate to be in front of the camera. Don't do that. And fine, switch back. I don't care. Anyway. So, it's whatever you guys want. I intend to make you happy, okay? I'm here to make you happy. Yes, master. Yes, master. I'm here to make you happy. Okay, so there we go. And this is quite the challenge, because this is me literally showing my faults. This is an area where I have not put practice into this at all, so I'm showing you guys what I don't know and what I'm still learning. And the thing is, I never went to school. I'm a high school graduate, and I went right into the working world, and I got right into doing all this stuff, and I learned how to caricature from a guy at a theme park, Christian theme park of all things, that was here in Orlando, and it's still here, but it's not nearly as cool as it used to be. And the guy who took the time to teach me was a really, really great guy. His name was George, and George was absolutely fantastic. He took me under his wing, and he helped me out. And then my dad had a friend who was also an artist. And this guy draws, basically he draws a calendar. And I mean the paper calendars that you hang up on your fridge. He draws a calendar a year. That's all he does. One calendar. He does 12 images. That one calendar makes him enough money to take care of his family for the whole year, pretty much. It's pretty crazy. That's how popular an artist he is. If you want to look him up, look up Friendly Critters. And he's a friend of my dad and I. He's really, really cool. And when I was a kid, just learning how to do art and learning how to get into all this stuff, Tom, who is the man who creates that stuff, sat down with me. He came over to my house, asked me to get out all my artwork, and sat down, looked over each one of my pieces. And at that time, I was literally drawing stick figures and anime. That's all I was drawing. And he got one-on-one with me. He got very serious. And he says, "You have talent. You can get somewhere with this. But you're not going to get anywhere with anime. If you want to be a professional artist and you want to get somewhere, then what you got to do is you got to get away from doing anime. And that kind of blew my mind. I didn't like that idea. I didn't like that idea at all. Because first off, in our young age, who doesn't like anime, right? But then secondly, I didn't know if I wanted to be a professional artist. I didn't know. And so I was very much not interested in his opinion. And over the years, that opinion became the one thing that stuck out to me more than anything. And I have thanked him so many times for taking that time to be honest with me. And ever since then, I've tried to be honest with other people that I tutor. People that ask me to teach them over on my online classes, or excuse me, I got the hiccup there. Or like someone who wants me to look over their artwork because they think it looks good, and then they want me to kind of check it out and review it and tell them that it looks amazing, and I'll be like, yeah, it looks good, but you really got to get away from the anime if you want to get somewhere successful. And here's why I say that. Here's the challenge. Look how great that looks. When I'm looking on the screen over here, and I'm seeing it from further away, it looks like it's taking on shape. In comparison to the rest of this, which is just scribble, this looks like it's taking on shape. Right there. I like that. When I look at it here on this screen, I see that, but it's not as noticeable. I have to see it from far away, and this screen actually helps out with that. But here's the thing. You can succeed in anime. You really, really can. But you are drawing what everyone else is drawing, because everyone is drawing anime in this day and age. Everyone. And if you want to set yourself apart, you can't draw what everyone else is drawing. You can't copy everyone else. You have to find your own style. You have to find your own niche. Some people like Mark Crilly, they make it in the world. They can do it. No problem. No questions asked. Because you can tell that he has worked really hard to make himself known. But it's not because of his art. His art looks like every other comic book out there. It's because of the story. The story is what sets him apart. Same thing goes for any other, anime artist that you've ever seen. It's the truth, and it's a sad truth, because anime is a beautiful art form, and it really is. It's gorgeous. But everyone does it. So how does that set you apart? It doesn't. Kind of faking in this pushed back tooth here on his mouth, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start. I'm just using the blending tool here. All I'm basically doing is I'm blending and shaping here with this, because it basically reaches and grabs the color that's underneath it and kind of spreads it around. So as I'm doing this, all I'm doing is I'm just grabbing colors around my hard lines that I have here. Like this one needs to go completely. So I'll just engulf it in the area around it, and that looks pretty good. You can see that's also taking on shape. It looks really nice. Looks really nice. For a guy like me who doesn't know what he's doing in this sense, I feel good about it. Thing is that you're going to find is that if you do this technique for too long, everything's going to look very, very faded. I'm going to continue working on this for a little bit before I get started with other artwork. This is my warm-up. This is going to kind of get me ready for my night of drawing for the next couple hours. And as I'm doing this, everything's getting really, really, really soft. And that's fine, except for the fact that that really, really soft portion is going to begin looking a little too soft, and that's not what I want. The goal is not to look soft. The goal is to have a form of realism. It needs to look edgy. It needs to have hard shadows where hard shadows are needed. It needs to have soft shadows where soft shadows are needed, because there is such a thing as hard shadows and soft shadows. I'm basically just kind of overall just smoothing out everything, and then I'll start building up what's important over top. Like, what is all this darkness over here? I'm just going to fade all that to be a single value. Pull this up through here. I'm going to fade this just a little bit. I still want it to be there because there's obviously a line here, and I want to capture that. But this right here isn't as important. Now there's a nice bright area right next to it, so here's where I'll grab my pencil and see if I can't scratch in just a couple lines here. Oh, do I still not have pressure sensitivity? Let's see if I still have pressure. Oh, I don't have any pressure sensitivity still. So I'll show you how I fix that in a second. Let me go ahead and save this. File, save. Okay, so here's what I do. I'm going to go ahead and minimize. I'm going going to come down here to my search engine, and I'm going to type in device services, I think. No, services. Services. There we go. Hit enter. It's going to bring up my services. It should bring up my services. Here we go. And I'm just going to scroll down here to Wacom. And I'm going to say restart. That should reboot it. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to make sure I saved my Tim Cook drawing. I'm going to close that and reopen it. And that should fix it. Okay. File, recent Tim Cook. There we go. Beautiful. So we'll get back to it. Oh, does my cursor go crazy again? Look at that, my cursor went crazy again. Now there's pressure sensitivity, but it's not. What the heck? What's going on with my screen? Okay, so you can see that it's actually jumping between my two screens. So let's do this. My goodness, this thing's causing me havoc tonight. I need to open up my Wacom stuff. So let me see if I have it in here. I don't think I do. So we're going to go to All Apps. Scroll all the way down to the very bottom where there's Wacom Tablet. We're going to open up the tablet properties. Okay, here's my settings, and all I got to do is go to Functions, and we're going to go to Display Toggle. Let me see what button I have programmed for the display toggle. And that would be this little guy right here. Okay, so we're going to go to on-screen control. No. Display. Okay. I think I have that all set up properly, so there it is. I'm going to hit that button again. And I don't see my mouse at the moment. Let me try it again. Nothing at there. Alright, now it's not working at all. Who's going crazy? That would be me. Reboot the tablet and see if that makes any difference. That probably won't make any difference at all. Oh, look at that. It's not pressure sensitive. Let's try this. We're going to go to File, Preferences. We're going to go to Tablet, and we're going to switch it to Tablet PC. And there's pressure sensitivity again. That's so weird. Anyway, let's keep plugging. Alright, so we have all of our settings here. Let me pop my... Come on. Let me turn that back on. I think that that's kind of actually important to have on. WinTab, BIP. And that's a... Bummer. That's a bummer and a half. Why, yes it is. So let's go back to the tablet PC, which doesn't make any sense on why that would be working or not. Maybe apparently I need to reboot my computer, which I have no intention of doing at all, because that's when everything just goes wrong. Here we go. There is a difference between the WinTab and the tablet PC. It depends on what tablet you're actually using. Sometimes I actually find that my Surface Pro works better with the tablet PC setting than it does with the WinTab setting, and vice versa with this one. So let's keep blending out all of these lines here. I want to basically get rid of all of my outlines as I continue to build this up. So hopefully, as I keep doing this, everything will start to just take on a 3D form. Hopefully. Keep looking at that negative space. And negative space means areas that get lighter. Like right here, this goes up. Kind of a little bit like that. into there. There we go. This down here is like pitch black. So let me go ahead and knock that in there, and then I'm going to add some extra black here in a second. And down on the bottom, we'll just go ahead and do that now, why not? So I'm seeing this line, whoa, black, how about that? Black would be a good color, wouldn't it? Yeah. So I'll go ahead and sketch this down here. It's going to come down like this, and now I've already exaggerated it, so it's a matter of building up the exaggeration and using it as a reference for the shadow, because if I draw the exact shadow, it's not going to work. But if I can use the shadow as a reference for where I should put my shadow now, since I've made all these changes and modifications, that's going to be helpful. And I think I can draw them in pretty hard, because I'm just going to shade them out here in a second. Like the bottom of the Adam's apple here, there's a bit of a shadow coming down this way too. Just kind of like that. I don't like this, so I'm just going to blend it out. I'm going to blend the neck, give it a little bit more genteel shadowing coming down. And then in here, let's go ahead and see what happens if I try and blend this a little bit. That's nice. Once again, just coming over into the drop shadow areas. That looks great. That looks good. Okay. Just pull this out this way a little bit and shade it off. Kind of make it disappear a little bit. That looks good. Let's do the same here. And here. And there. Yep. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that one. And that one. I don't know why I put those there. And there we go. Pulling out this defined form that I had put where I tried to separate the face from the neck. It looks like it actually needs to be attached there a little bit, so I'm going to kind of carry down that detachment or whatever. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Hit my button a bit too much here. I'll switch back over to the other screen a little bit. Keep an eye on the G13 on the side and see if you can see what buttons I'm hitting. I know my microphone's totally in the way, isn't it? Alright, here, I'll do this for a little bit. Sorry if it's a little quieter. So every time I use my thumb, every time you hear that click, I'm making my brush bigger or smaller. Every time you hear that tiny click, that one, and that one's to move, like that. That right there was my zoom, and I got two of them for zooming in and out. Okay. There's a little bit more shape to that lump. There we go. That looks much better. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill upwards on this and try and harden that form a little. I think I'm going to switch over to another brush, and that one's called the Paint and Apply brush. It should be under watercolor, paint and apply. So basically with this one, you can put it in there and then paint it away. Like that. It's really good for working on this kind of stuff when you're trying to quickly gather forms together. Works really well so you can get those hard shadows in there and then just blend out their edges. Works a lot like the other brush was that I was using, but the only difference is it handles the blending a little bit differently, just a wee bit differently. I don't like this hard shadow on... I do like it, but I don't. This one right here, I just feel like that should kind of go away. And then it should have a shadow there. It should be a deep shadow. But it shouldn't be a hardline shadow. The hardline shadow comes down here in the cheek area. Okay. I also see that it sticks out just a little bit, so I'm kind of tempted to carry it outwards, kind of like this, just a little. Not by much. I'm gonna... Oop. I also have a redo button just in case. But something kind of like this. Doesn't feel quite right, but we'll see. The other thing that we can do that kind of would help this piece out is to apply a pretty big background around it. I'm going to move my microphone back over here so you guys can hear me a little better. And I'm going to apply a pretty heavy gray tone back there. So under new layer, because I don't want to lose track of anything I'm working on. Just kind of painting in this backdrop. Hopefully by doing this, that's going to help me see the values as I should, because the white isn't offsetting this nearly as much. So hopefully it'll let me see a little bit more in the face and how I need to work out those black and white tones a little bit better. Okay, let's go back to my pencil tool and start kind of re-marking my shadows and highlights and things. Using my little selection tool, my little Alt key, I can kind of quickly draw in the shapes that I want to keep and the ones that I want to lose form on. Like this kind of feels like it comes up through here a little bit. It kind of gets cropped off right about there, kind of like that. But at the same time, part of that hits his glasses. So his glasses are a little different than how I drew them, for sure. There's nothing wrong with doing everything in hard shadow and then shading it out. Like right here is where his glasses are, coming up this way with the reflection. Then I'll just take it and blend it out. Kind of like that. Same with the other side. I'll just follow along the side of glasses and across the face. Am I sounding like Bob Ross yet? Thing is, when I talk into the microphone, my ears explode because I can hear it in my headphones. And it actually really helps me to hear it in my headphones, so I know what I'm saying. And I'm not even listening to music right now. I'm listening to me, which, yeah, that's totally narcissistic, isn't it? There we go. Okay, I love how that looks. I feel like that has a really good form. I'm just going to kind of quickly, gently sketch in something that looks kind of like the bottom lip, which for him just kind of disappears. And then very gently kind of knock in these teeth slightly. I'll probably end up shading it out. Just make that one tooth that I want to kind of disappear in the background just a little bit darker. And I don't like the texture that I put on it, so I'll just shade it out and shade out the teeth around it a little so it kind of blurs them into the shape as much as possible. And then there's a really nice highlight on that outside tooth, so I'm just going to kind of put a nice strong bold highlight right on the edge. That looks pretty cool. Something that I did is I didn't kind of push the nose out far enough over here, so if I wanted to I could kind of rebuild the nose coming out this way and then going up. But the thing is, just remember, you can try and do that, but this is a caricature. Things are going to be exaggerated. You're not going to draw things exactly the way you saw them, you know. So if you keep going down this trend, you are not going to keep this as a caricature. So your goal is to use the values more than use the actual image. Don't go exactly with the image. Use the color values that the image has to help you build what you want to create. But if I continue down this road like I'm doing, it's just going to turn into a portrait of him, which is great. That'd be beautiful. I take a lot of pride in that. It's not something I'm good at, but I don't want to lose track of what I'm actually trying to create. If that makes any sense. And I have very little knowledge about doing realism, so I'm talking out the side of my head. But my knowledge of it seems to work somewhat. I could be completely wrong about it all, but that's what this whole learning situation is about. That's why I do this. That's why I warm up with this, because then when I go to caricature is easy, which it sometimes can't be, you know? Sometimes it's very difficult. Kind of retoning the neck. And I'm going to reform the chin. Kind of get this weight down here. And then this comes up here. Thing is, I feel like I've totally drawn the neck and the chin wrong. Let's see here. I'll just try and... There we go. I think that I need to go a shade darker on the background, so I'll just multiply it. Yep, makes it a shade darker. What about one more? I don't feel like it's doing much good. Everyone's going to hit the dislike button because the all-knowing Tim don't know so much right now. The all-knowing Tim. Boy, do I put myself up on a pedestal. The thing I'm noticing is that all this is not hard or crisp at all. So it's hard to tell if it actually does, if that actually is the side of the face or not. So I can try and shadow it, try and blend it a little. Works somewhat. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It really doesn't look that bad. Let me see what I can do with this eyeball over here, because right now I have nothing that looks like the form of his eye in any way. So let me see what I can do. My throat's getting a little hoarse, so I'm actually thinking I might prepare to shut down the stream here in a little bit so I can get to this other stuff. Because what time is it now? It's going on 10 o'clock. I don't remember when I started, probably around 8 or so. 8:30, 8:45. So it's been about an hour. I'm trying to keep these things smaller, and I know you guys are like, what? Really? Why? I'm trying to make sure that when the video goes up on YouTube, when these almost behind the scenes, basically, go up on YouTube, that it's one that everyone can enjoy and don't get bored by. Because there is nothing more boring than hearing me breathe as I work on these commissions. And that's not my intent at all. My intent is to make sure to keep the audience, and if I'm not doing that, then I really don't want to continue on a path that could hurt what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create a place where we can all have fun and learn how to draw and learn techniques and theories and build up our knowledge, and everyone can support each other, and it just that means a lot to me. That's very important to me, and I don't want bad content or unprofessional content to cause damage to that task, to that goal. There we go. And all this is much lighter, so I'm just going to go like this and just put a couple passes over this and go back and see if that helps at all. I'll zoom out here a little bit and kind of get a faraway image of it. And that looks really, really cool. That looks really cool. I feel like it's still very distorted, and like there's not nearly enough hard shadows and highlights and stuff. So let me just kind of grab my blending brush and just kind of blend down everything. Just kind of make all these forms as one solid one solid value. Because from that one solid value, then I can start building what it should be. Probably not going to do it much more tonight, but I think I can go from here pretty decently if I decide to continue this. That's the thing. You guys know how busy I am, so working on my personal projects like these, there's just no time for it these days. Something I also like to do on occasion is kind of go for a little bit of a cross-hatching style. And it reminds me a lot of, oh, I'm going to hate that I don't remember his name. Is it Glenn? It's the guy who does all the Star Wars posters. Who did all the Star Wars posters. A very, very specific style that used a whole bunch of different techniques. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork. And I've watched his documentary over so many times because I'm just so inspired by what he created and what he does. I haven't seen him do any more pieces since then. I hope that maybe he came back and did the newest Star Wars or something, but I honestly don't know. But I'm trying to remember his name. Was it Glenn? Keep thinking Glenn Ferguson, but that's a completely other artist and a completely other sad story. Glenn. I give up. If I keep saying Glenn and all you guys know what it actually is, you're going to be so ticked at me. And that's not my intention at all. So anyway, it's just a beautiful art form that he uses with like colored pencils and airbrushes and just this beautiful, beautiful bunch of values that just are absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely just gorgeous. When I remember, I'm going to kick myself so hard. But all of his highlights and things he does in this very, very simple colored pencil. But there's just something so beautiful and ornate about it. It's annoyingly beautiful. How about that? That's an interesting way to put it. It's annoyingly beautiful. And you can just apply these anywhere you want, just to give this stuff shape. And that's all you're doing. You're just adding in little bits here and there of the forms that you're trying to capture. It doesn't have to be much. A single tick mark of white just can explode a whole area. So you got to do things gently. But I also find that when you're not certain, you just go ahead and do them, and then just grab your like this right here. This is really, really bold. It's a bit too strong. So I can just grab this, and I can take it like right in the middle. So I keep that bright color, keep that bright value, and I just go ahead and blend it out. But I leave just a little bit of that bright left, and it adds this nice little trick. Looks really cool. Well, you can see that the structure is definitely building up at least, but it's just way too soft. Just way too soft. That's annoying. I don't like it when it's soft. And I haven't really learned how to crisp up a shadow just yet. Even though I do feel like that shadow right here is really, really sharp. Because you got this laugh line that comes this way. This comes straight down almost from the glasses. And right here, it just kind of grooves straight down, right over the mouth, just like this. And then I'll cross-hatch in this darker tone here. If I need to, I'll grab from another line to build it up, just like that. There's another one right over here on this side. And it looks like it goes concave, which means it would have a hole in the middle, because convex means that it comes out towards you, like a balloon. But concave means you're creating a cave. And this comes way, my nose here comes down like this, right over the bottom lip. And goes right back up here, just like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and shade that in. Just a little bit, just like that. Up close it doesn't feel right. Maybe once I blend it out, though, it'll feel a little better. Like this here as well. This is a shape right here that I need to make sure I get into a shadow form, so I can go ahead and just kind of put in a little bit of grooving, because there's black in there already. So it should apply a nice gradient as it is. But I can do these hard lines. I can do it all hard, and then with the blending tool here, all I got to do is just kind of blend from the bottom up. And then once I get to the top, I just got to make sure that it's not looking like it's got a hard, crisp line. But on the bottom, keep it nice and tight. Like this line here, all this shading here. Just come right up to this hard line, because I want it to stay hard. And we're just going to come through all this stuff here, and I'm just going to do that. Over here, same thing on this side. I want that to stay crisp and hard. This one right here, that wasn't crisp. It was just a gentle shadow. So I'll shade it out on the top, and I'll try to pull some of the darker regions up into it. There we go. And then if I know that I'm getting close to the value I'm looking for, then I'll just go ahead and crisp that in so it's the same color. And you just look for these dark shapes. That's all I'm doing, just looking for dark shapes. So here's the cheek, and it's going to come around like this. And it's going to continue down the same way, and I'm seeing a kind of pockmark here of some sort. So I can go ahead and with this here, I'll just go ahead and blend this in. I actually did a whole tutorial series on working with cross-hatching to build realism, and it's actually one of my more popular videos. So just take a look through my channel, you'll find it. I don't know how to get to realism perfectly, but I know how to begin the process. And from that process, you work your way up. It's the same technique that a lot of the old classic artists would use. Highlight my white, and let's go work on this side of the face just a little bit. Just cross-hatching in areas of highlight. And like I said, you can do them bold. You can do bold highlights. And I feel like there's an extra edge white around here. Kind of like that. Okay. And then right here, coming down off this lip this way just a little bit, kind of like that. This one for sure. This is all in white, so I'm just going to go ahead and kind of embolden that into a white form. And it's going to come right out here to this form here. And actually, I think that there's two forms here, so I think that this one comes here kind of like this. Because it's going to come down to the chin, kind of like that. And then there's going to be a darker form, which should be somewhere around here, kind of like that. And then this one can cut into that and begin traveling up the face as another shape, kind of like that. And I know it looks confusing, so hopefully once I begin blending in, pulling the white out from the dark, hopefully it'll begin to take on a little bit more form. And if it needs to, I'll just blend down one side of it, and hopefully it'll create a nice little balance between the two shapes. Yeah, I totally see it on the other screen. I don't see it here on this one, but I see it over there. So that makes my heart feel a little better. Well, guys, I think that that's actually really, really good. I am really pleased with this so far, so I'm just going to go ahead and save this as it is. And I think that this is a good opportunity, sadly, to go ahead and finish up our stream for this evening. It's 10:10, and I should probably get to work on everything else I need to do. Plus, I want some ice cream. My throat's getting a bit sore. So I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much. Please remember, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you truly want to be my support and go the extra mile, you can get all my tutorials, all my advanced tutorials that I did in the past, and they're all waiting for you on my Patreon. All you got to do is just donate $1. And if you donate that $1 per video, which is actually, remember, you can set your limits. So if I make 100 videos, you're not donating $100 a month or whatever. Basically what you're doing is you can set your limits. So if you want to donate $1 for one video in a whole month, you can do that. And it means the world to me. It's so wonderful. Thank you so much. These days, I have not made any new advanced tutorials, and here's why. I'm trying to make more content for you guys on here. So your support over there allows me to make more content for you here that's free for everyone. So your investment in me goes out and shares to the world. So there's the advanced tutorials, there's the other rewards that are there for you. So please check all that stuff out. I really hope you would consider it. It means a lot to me, and admittedly, there's some really big stuff coming up in my life in the next while, and when that happens, I'm gonna need some help, and you guys are gonna have to be there to help me out. There's some wonderful things happening, but I can't tell you. I will tell you, but it's gonna be a while, and when it does happen, it's gonna kind of be a blowout. So sit tight with me. I'm excited about the future that my wife and I have. But we will need your help, and your patron rewards, your patron gifts are really going to go the extra mile. So look at my face, you can see. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And that's about it. So enjoy the other videos here on my channel. Hit that subscribe button or subscribe button. Become a part of my family here. And I'll see you guys next time. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Find me on Twitter or on Instagram. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.